Yeah, and lots to unpack there. I want to get back to the age thing in a moment because that is a really interesting thing that we just see continue to come up in our reporting and in the polling. Of course, this is happening against the backdrop of this war in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. How has that also sort of affected the way that Democrats, rank and file voters, lawmakers, people inside the administration, even, how has that sort of affected the way that they think about this president and the way that they look at the next election?
Well, this is one of the really big fissures currently in the Democratic Party. And it's interesting because Biden ran on this promise to sort of restore America in the eyes of the world, and as a legitimate expert on foreign policy, based on his decades in the Senate and on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and a lot of what he did at the beginning was going around and touring the globe. And I went with him on some of those trips. And world leaders, especially our allies, were delighted to have him back after those 4 years of Trump. So that's all to say there's something a little bit ironic, or I have to imagine frustrating for the president to be facing sort of internal dissent on something that so feels a part of his bailiwick, like foreign policy. But again, what you're seeing in the Democratic Party and what Biden is dealing with in his own administration is what we're seeing across the country, that there is a real division on how Americans feel about the handling of the war, the Israel-Gaza war, and among younger voters, which are an incredibly important part of any Democratic coalition, a Biden coalition. There is a lot of disagreement, and some people want to see him call for a ceasefire. Some people feel that he is supporting Israel too forcefully. Some people are very upset by the civilian casualties we continue to see in Gaza. And there is a real sort of policy and humanitarian division in the party on this issue. And it is hurting Biden's support among especially those critical voters 18 to 34.